Today I want to talk to you about one of the most hated jobs in the world. And no, it's not being a politician, it is being an influencer or content creator in social media. I don't think I've ever seen another job that gets quite this much hate. I see so many hate comments on people's pictures or stories, or entire Reddit threads created around bullying content creators. I just see it all over online, so I want to talk about that. There have been some recent statistics that have come out of how many people want to be influencers. So I'm going to read these off to you. 57% of Gen Z would become an influencer if given the opportunity. Of younger children, 7 to 8 years old, 1 in 6 children want to be influencers or do social media in some way. For grown adults, 41% of us would do social media if given the opportunity. Now, a lot of people look at these numbers specifically among younger kids. They're saying things like the next generation's cooked, they'll never get anywhere, blah, blah, blah. I think we have so many old school ideologies around social media and influencing because even that space has changed so much in the last 15 years. The idea that people do social media for attention or that it's not a real job is so lame and old school. We need to move past this. I don't think there is a single career right now that is more disruptive and futuristic than social media and content creation. This career path has only been around for the last 20 years. It is so incredibly recent. People don't really know what to do with it yet. Whatever practical careers that we've been guided to get our entire lives will be taken over with AI. So that actually means that one of the most practical career paths that you can go down is social media and content creation. Now, I don't think I can talk about this any further without talking about the fact that people think that social media and content creation equals wanting attention. Let me be very clear here. People do social media and make content to connect with people. These are not the kids with a bunch of friends. These are people trying to connect with people because they don't have anyone in their lives to connect with, because maybe no one in their lives has the same interest as them, and they just want to meet people. They just want community with people that do. That is not a bad thing. That is nothing to be ashamed about. If you are struggling to meet people in your life with the same interests or hobbies as you, take it online. There are people online that are waiting to connect with you and talk to you about what you most love. This is so incredibly normal, and I just want to say, if you're struggling to meet people in real life, don't discredit the relationships that you can build online. A lot of people will say that the relationships you don't build online aren't real. I completely disagree. I have a second channel that I have built relationships. I've met people in real life. I have friends online, all because I made a channel years ago and posted on it to connect with people. So again, if you think that social media is about getting attention, you are holding an old school mentality that is simply boring. Another reason social media is so disruptive is because it takes out the middleman for pretty much everything. You no longer have to wait around for someone to validate you or tell you you're good enough. For example, if you want to do music, you can sing and post online. You don't need to wait for a talent manager. You don't need to wait for someone to discover you while you're singing at a coffee shop. You can make yourself discoverable because of social media. Same thing with painting. If you're an artist, you don't need to sit around waiting for anyone to discover you. You can paint and post online. If you're a comedian, you can do sketches and post online. If you want to talk about whatever topic that you want to talk about, you can do that and post online. This is so mind-blowing to me that we get to grow up this way where we don't need someone to tell us that we're good enough. We can actually just share our interests, our lives, whatever we want to share exactly as we are now. Another reason this is so counterculture is because maybe our parents grew up in office jobs, factory jobs, trade jobs, and they had a certain career path set for them. And now all of a sudden, those rules are murky because we've now seen people that have gone on to build incredibly huge careers. I would argue much bigger than a career you're going to build in an office job online. This is bold, this is edgy, this is disruptive energy, and this is young, fresh energy that we need to bring to the table. If any part of you has a desire to connect with people about any sort of hobby or interest that you have, you do that. This is normal. Of course you have this desire. We are growing up in an age where this is what's normal. So let's make it normal. Let's stop hating on other people that do this. We're not boomers. Why are we hating on the people that are paving the way for the new? You don't have to like every influencer or agree with them to acknowledge that this is an incredibly disruptive field. You also don't like every person you meet in real life, so of course you're not going to like every person online. That's no big deal. Finally, the last thing I want to say on this, and one thing that I think is so incredibly boring, is the way that particularly women are hated on for making content. For so many years, women have kind of been left out of the conversation of creating our own thing and making our own money. It is a relatively new thing that women have as much power and decision-making control as we do today. So I think it's so funny that a lot of men hate on the fact that women can make millions of dollars making videos about beauty and fashion if they choose. Because some people love to discredit what we do and what we love and cut it down. Again, so boring. I feel like the hate on influencing in social media is a bit of a jab on women in general, because this is a career that a lot of women have flourished in. We found a way to make it work, and we did. And now the male doctors and lawyers are mad about it, so they cut it down instead of seeing it for what it is, which is a perfectly legitimate career path. Not everyone needs to get why what you do is valuable and why what you want to share is valuable. No one needs to get that, but clearly there are communities out there that do get that. And these people are paid quite highly. I just want to say, if any part of you wants to do social media or content creation, and from the numbers I just read, it's going to be quite a few of you, no big deal. You wanting to connect with people and talk to people about what you love, what is more normal than that? Stop discrediting this desire with all this boring old school mentality that we've carried. It's time that it stops, and it's time that it's done. Creating a piece of content and posting it isn't a big deal. I just want to say it should be as normal as brushing your teeth. We don't get over these hurdles in our life by making them a big hurdle and making them a big deal. We get over these hurdles by realizing it's actually not that big of a deal. It's actually not that serious. You wanting to talk to people online, perfectly normal. In fact, I don't know if I've met many people that don't want to connect with people online. I just think this is a normal desire. I personally think that everyone will have a platform in the future in whatever niches or interests that they have it. So we'll all be able to connect with people online. So even if you feel lonely and you feel ostracized and you feel out of place in your real life, you will still be able to find that community, because everyone deserves to find that. And you don't need to sit around waiting to make friends when maybe they're not going to come to your door in real life. Go online for that. Online friendships are important. Let's stop saying that they're nothing, because that's not true. Anyway, that's it for me today. I'm clearly extremely passionate about this topic, but I hope that it was helpful for you. And yeah, go make your content, live your life, do your thing, and I will talk to you soon.